All right, hello everyone and welcome to the Rift. Oh, what is that? What did I do? I don't know what happened. Okay. We have our top cut. The logo is in the way. Hold on. There we go. Here is our bracket for right now, round one. We've got a few Kaisa mirrors. Yep. A lot of Kaisa in this tournament. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Kaisa. Yeah, that's quite a lot. 2 Kaisa mirrors, a Yi mirror, Victor and Jinx, Victor Darius. I think our Darius had to drop out, unfortunately. Had some other stuff come up. Teemo and Ari. Kaisa and Teemo. Hopefully Teemo can get the first top 8 spot today. I don't think Teemo's gotten a top cut spot in any tournaments, at least that I know of. And Leona and Misfortune, which is going to be our feature match for round one, because of course it is. Yeah. Kaisa's been doing pretty well. Yi's been doing pretty well in other tournaments, and he's not done poorly in these, definitely not. He's done pretty well. Victor and Jinx. Jinx kinda has not been doing that great. He's been doing okay. Victor's been doing well. He's won 2 of our tournaments. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kaisa, Yi, and Victor all do well in this tournament. Yeah, Teemo potentially could get his first top spot, and then Leona and MF. One of them is getting their first top cut spot. Leona? I know, right? Yeah. Potentially make it into top 8. We'll see. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over here, and we're gonna get started soon. Let me go ahead and notify everyone that the tournament is starting. Go ahead and actually start it. The tournament has begun. Right, I have notified our players and should be getting on our way real soon. Yeah, we've definitely got some the Teemo list. Well, there's 2 Teemos. Yeah, so the way our top 16 works is we had 5 rounds of Swiss yesterday, and everyone with a 5-0 record and 4-1 record advanced into top 16, as well as a handful of people with 3-2 records with some good tiebreakers. So we will see how many of these decks can advance to our top 8? So many Kaisa Day 2? Yeah, there's definitely a lot. But that is to be expected. She is very good. Right. Waiting for our table 8 feature match. Got one player in there. Hopefully our Leona player is here. If not, we can watch a Teemo game. Window set. Only a few people played set. He did well in the Friday tournament. Yeah, I'm not sure where our Leona player is. Don't know, they might not be coming. I guess we can spectate Teemo and Ari instead. Yeah, it doesn't look like Leona might show up. I don't know. Yeah, I'll go and ask them.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
Zach from
Hi.
Riftbound.
Hello, it is I, Zach from Riftbound Meta. Our Leona player has not shown up yet, so do you guys want to be feature?
Sure, I'll be feature. The lobby's name is Timmy.
Right.
Password is 12346.
Okay. Join.
Oh god. How am I gonna do this?
Oh, hold on. Leona showed up to their table. Hang on. Let me go over.
Oh,
No problem,
alright.
no problem.
Hello. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
about.
Gonna watch.
Tables up, Riftbound Meta, Table 8, password Riftbound, all lowercase.
Edit, thank you.
I'm on a laptop and I've been having. For some reason, some of the battlefields just won't load in when they get put in the boxes. So if that happens, can we just put them to the side of the box?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I am loading in. All right. Seems good on my end. You guys are ready to start. Whenever. Have fun.
Thank you.
All right. Let me put the round timer up. Right. Leona is here, indeed. We'll see if they can actually get a top 8 spot. Of course, we've got Misfortune with orange MF. And we've got Leona with green Leona. Okay, that's interesting. I have not played Leona at all since this card came out, so I'm only familiar with playing yellow in the Chosen Champion Zone, and that card seemed pretty good. That was a really nice turn to play. We'll see how the green one works out, though. We've got Dreaming Tree and Sigil for game 1. Interesting. And MF seemed to have gone first and passed. Okay, this might be Ramp Leona, or Ramp MF. Yeah, it is. Mobilize. They're just gonna ramp and draw cards, and then they're gonna play Dazzling Aurora and try to spit out a bunch of gigantic units turn after turn. Playing battlefields like Sigil in a deck like that can slow your opponent down, take off some of their aggression, give you time to build up towards your win condition of playing a bunch of big dudes in the late game. Seems like Leona is also playing a bit slow here. We'll see if they can potentially win the game fast enough before Misfortune starts slamming down gigantic cards that are going to be a problem for Leona to deal with. Just playing a scrap heap, draw a card, just cycling through their deck, trying to dig towards their win conditions. See Leona take the first point of the game, pretty late into the game, I'd say. And develop Noxian Drummer in base. Leona 4-0. I think they're 3-2. Oh yeah, I've got to do the overlay. Top 16. And this is game 1. I believe both these players are 3-2. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we've got Leona at only 1 point with a Dazzling Aurora on the other side of the field, so it's not looking great. Misfortune, the ramp version, has been able to establish their win condition while their opponent has only taken a single point. The longer the game goes, this card is going to generate more and more free value, so the longer the game goes, the more and more the game is going to slip out of Leona's hands. So we'll see if she can close things out or get rid of this card fast enough. And there's a second one. Okay, that's a lot of value. I'm gonna flip cards until we find a unit. And we found an Ursine. Okay. Big guy. And we're gonna do it again because we have 2 of them now. Yeah, this deck is just going to keep putting out 2 free units every turn from now on, and that is going to be difficult to deal with from Leona's side. Okay, got a Mind Splitter coming down, taking a card from the opponent's hand, any card. Go ahead and pick a card here. Defy doesn't really do that much in this matchup. Probably just take a Rune Prison, I would imagine here, or maybe the Zenith Blade. Stuns can be pretty good against this type of deck that attack with big units, so I'd imagine they take one of those cards here. you are still considered to be the seed that you're placed in. Yeah, even though you were substituted in, you're still in that spot. Both was 4-1, were they? Go ahead and check real quick. Yeah, Leona seems to be staring down a board of a lot of units now. Not quite sure how to approach this situation. They were 4-1, yes, you're right. Top 16 instead of top 8. We're gonna do 16 for... Well, it depends. We might not do the 2-day split moving forward, we're not sure yet. But if we do a 2-day split, yeah, it's gonna be 16. Yeah, I mean, you can go up to 4 points here, but you have to deal with this board that's going to be getting bigger and bigger as time goes on, or you're just going to be pushed out of the game. Let's see what they can do. Gonna go ahead and commit a bunch of units to this field. And a hidden card, okay. That's Hidden Blade, that's pretty good. That just deals with one of these big units. They have 10 might on this board. Yeah, Misfortune's going to be able to put 3 very big units onto the board this turn because of their double dazzling in play. That is potentially extremely scary to play against. If Leona doesn't have enough ways to remove their units in time to actually score 8 points and seal the game, then yeah, the game is just gonna slowly slip away from them. Let's see if they can close out the game in time. Misfortune just thinking about what to do here as well. They have, what, 13 might total? So technically they can beat over this field, but there's a Hidden Blade there. That's probably going to trade with one of these. In front. Okay, that's pretty good. Anything they play this turn is going to be able to attack immediately. That's kind of nice. Alright, a Snapvine is going to go ahead and kill something and be able to attack immediately. That's nice. Azania's to protect. Okay. Not a Hidden Blade. Just gonna save one of their units. Looks like they tried to Snapvine this Leona. Interesting. If you Snapvine something small like this drummer, the drummer will die and then the Snapvine will still be alive and it can attack into the Leona and kill it anyway. And they're going to go ahead and clear the rest of this board with an Ursine, now that their defenses are down. And yeah, we just see Misfortune start stabilizing the board and taking control of this game. And that's a Soul Gorger. So, gonna be able to play another unit from their trash for free. Still paying the power cost though. That is a lot of big units starting to amass onto the board here. Yeah, I mean, Misfortune's just going to build up a gigantic board here, and it's going to get even better every turn from now on, so I think Leona is going to struggle to deal with all this stuff. Yeah, here's Soul Gorger and an Ursine and a Death Bloom, a Mind Splitter, and they're going to get another unit from their second Dazzling. Yeah, just a ton of units, second Death Bloom. Just so many units coming down onto these battlefields, it's going to make it incredibly difficult for Leona to bust through. Probably not going to happen. I'll be honest, I think the game is over. There's just way too many gigantic units here. And there's going to be even more. And when you target these with anything, you have to pay the deflect cost, which is not great because if you try to stun it with Leona, you're just paying that cost. That's going to hurt as well. Yeah, there's just so much on this board to deal with. Did you forget second Aurora? I got a Soul Gorger and a Dead Bloom off of them, I believe. Yeah, I mean, there's just too much here to deal with, I think. Like, sure, yeah, you can take this battlefield, but Leona needs to play Divine Judgment. And I don't know. I don't really think there is a play for Leona against a deck like this. Not many people play these decks with Aurora. It's just not that much of the meta right now. Sure, I guess it can help in this matchup, maybe, but doesn't Divine Judgment keep the Dazzlings on board, so it doesn't really do anything? Soul Gorger, they played a second Death Bloom, I believe. Their board was Ursine, Mind Splitter, then they started resolving Auroras, got Soul Gorger into Death Bloom, and then played a second Death Bloom off the second Aurora. Leona's ahead on scoring tempo. If they both hold, she just wins. Yeah, but that's a lot of time for Misfortune to break this board. They can pull their units back from here and just mount a gigantic attack next turn. Yeah, you take a Rune Prison here, get rid of a stun. We know if Leona's running Salvage. They might be. I don't know their deck list. Yeah, I think Salvage is probably a better option than Divine Judgment against this deck. gonna go ahead and gank over a gigantic unit. Or just this guy, I guess. Yeah, Misfortune also has ganking. So you can gank over these units on this field. Like, they're not stuck here. They can pressure the other field as well. And there's another dead bloom. Okay, well... yeah, I mean, look at this board, right? Like, there's just nothing you do against this. We definitely don't main deck Divine Judgment, that's for sure. I'll play a set. This guy's pretty big. If he can get buffed, that's... I mean, they have a good board here against any other deck, but at this stage in the game against this deck, this is just such an insurmountable force to deal with. Go ahead and play some stacked decks, just digging for cards. At this point, there's nothing they need. They've already established a winning position. I mean, they've gone through all three of their dead blooms, and a lot of mind splitters as well, so if they do get hit by something with Divine Judgment, then they could just run out of units, but I don't think that's happening. Yeah, I mean, at this point, they can just, yeah, start stacking on battlefields. What do you do about this? Nothing. Alright, well, we've got Leona that can stun one of these units, and this one... Set helps as well. He's pretty big. Yeah, there are no units left in the deck for Dazzling Aurora to grab. This is all there is on the board here. If Leona can clear all this, she does win the game. But that's a lot easier said than done. There are a ton of things on this board. Let's see what they've got. 5 plus 7, 12. And then 17 plus 2. So they have 19 total. Could maybe do something with that. This Leona does help clear stuff. If you can stun multiple things, that is nice. They have one stun currently. They have a second, they could actually clear a decent chunk of units here. But they need that second stun. What they do have to worry about is... Okay, they're gonna stun some more stuff. That's really good. They're probably gonna clear this field. The question is... Can they survive a bullet time plus a gank over from MF next turn? Bullet time's gonna do 8 to everything, so only Set's gonna live on 1, and if they gank over 2 units, that's potentially a very tricky situation to deal with for Leona. They have Defy? Yeah, but do they have enough Defy? That's the question. MF has drawn basically most of their deck, and they've resolved multiple stack decks as well, so they might have too many bullet times in their hand to deal with. Or other forms of removal, like Rebuke, as well, is a problem. That can't be defied. Yeah, here's a Rebuke. Okay. You need Wind Wall for this. I don't know if Leona main decks that card. Looks like not. They're just gonna pick their unit back up into their hand. Getting rid of Green Leona there is really good for MF. Looks like the attack is not going to go through from Leona. And they're only going to manage to kill an Ursine. Well, they do have another turn to try. MF can't win next turn. So there could be potential. You can play the Green Leona back down from your hand and try again next turn. They are going to have to clear both battlefields next turn though, and that I don't think is happening. You're going to need a lot of removal. Yeah, they can kill... If these are both stunned, they can't kill these with Green Leona this turn. And Green Leona will die to a gank. And we'll see what happens from there. They have some hidden blades. They may actually be able to do this. Looks like they're just thinking their lines through. Yeah, they're gonna attack with this Leona. If both these dead blooms are still stunned, then they're both dead. Then a -8 to everything. Okay. A gust to put one of their dead blooms back in hand and trigger Dreaming Trees while the draw card. I'm gonna go ahead and defy that, because why not? We have a bunch of defies and probably not a better target. Well, bullet time, but Leona is already dead to a gank over anyway. Second gust to try and save our dead bloom. And we see the second defy. Okay. Good talk. Yeah, both these dead blooms are dead. Okay, that's defies out of the hand for bullet time, though. With 6 runes up, you can deal 6 to both of these units. If they try to swing into combat. Defenses are completely down from Leona, so there's nothing they can do about ganking over one of these unless they have a Call to Glory in hand. I don't know if Leona plays that card. They might. See what they do here. They could just gank over a unit to kill this Leona and then hold up 6 for bullet time, or develop something. I don't think they have anything really left. Challenge. Okay, that's really good. This dead bloom is going to kill this Leona, and that's a dead Leona. 5 damage onto this dead bloom. Go ahead and use MF, gank over this, kill this Leona. Yeah, their board is getting picked apart bit by bit. And another challenge to kill the last unit. Okay, well, it was a good try. Yeah, that was way too much aggression from those Auroras. 2 Auroras that early, that's a lot to deal with. That is a lot to deal with. Liked Leona, but kept hearing she's bottom tier, just like above Garen. I mean, I think she has like a 20% win rate. So... yeah, both of these decks have not made a top 8 spot yet. They might be able to do it today. Well, one of them is going to be able to do it. We'll see which one. We've got MF winning game 1. Let me go ahead and update the overlay to game 2. And 1-0 over to Misfortune. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get into game 2 after our players finish sideboarding. Probably gonna bring more stuns into this matchup. From Leona's side, maybe some wind walls to deal with the rebukes. Definitely salvage to destroy auroras if they have them. We'll see. A lot of potentially very good sideboard cards for Leona. Hated Blade is also extremely good in this matchup, so lots of good potential includes. We'll see how much and what cards they decide to go with. Alright, we've got double obelisk. Okay, well that's very good for a ramp deck like Misfortune. Just starting the game off with 2 extra energy is kind of crazy. Looks like they'll be going second with 5, so they can potentially drop an Aurora turn 3, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, that's a lot of energy to start with. Gonna stack their deck, look at some cards. You don't have to show your opponent, but I guess they're playing it. Yeah, they're gonna ramp 2. Okay, well, they can play Aurora on turn 2 now. That's extremely good. Yeah. Let's see how Leona responds to this, if they do drop an Aurora on turn 2. Okay, a Mind Splitter, not Aurora. Let's see what they've got. Cole, you're probably taking Cole here. Yeah, I think just getting to deal with this unit for 2 energy is pretty good. Vengeance you don't care as much about, because it's a little more expensive. Could also take the set potentially just to get rid of a unit, but I think Cole is probably the best pick here. That card is just really good against Misfortune. This ramp version anyway. Getting to deal with this 7 might unit for just 2 energy is really good. See what they decide to go with here. Yeah, it looks like they do pick the call. Alright. Leona's up to 2 points. Gonna go ahead and pull back to try and not get attacked or hit with a dead bloom. And pull back into the safety of your base. And develop Green Leona and pass. Okay. Well, pretty good board state from Leona so far, but... Okay, well... There's an Aurora. Assuming off the top of the deck that... Or they could have played Mind Splitter first, just clear the hand of any salvages or something like that to make sure they can develop their Aurora safely. They get a Soul Gorger off of it, which is not great. There's nothing in trash for it to pick right now. But getting this Aurora developed now is pretty good. And they're just going to hold their unit back in base. Not throw it into the line of fire of potentially being killed by a Green Leona if it gets stunned. Okay, they're gonna put stuff onto battlefields, go up to 4. Gonna try and defend against some attacks coming in from Misfortune, I would assume. want to start swinging now and getting rid of some of the units on Leona's board. Okay, get a vengeance this. And pass, okay. They've got 5 might to swing in with that can trade with either the drummer and the token or set. They've got 4 energy up, so something's probably getting stunned this turn, I would imagine. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the drummer. Try and trade off with that. See if they play the stun. Misfortune has all their energy up, so I could play a Dead Bloom now. And if you stun just this instead of the Dead Bloom, you could be losing more than you would like. So they might go ahead and use something from their hand. They could also play a pump spell if Leona plays those onto one of their units here to kill this at least. Let's see. Yeah, discipline coming down on the drummer. Go ahead and draw a card there and trade Soul Gorger for drummer. Alright. Misfortune still has 9 runes at their disposal, so we'll see what they do here. It's honestly probably not even that bad to just fire off a bullet time here and kill these two. You already have Aurora established, so if you can simplify the game state down to just basically no units, then that's pretty good, because you're gonna generate advantage. See what they do here. Thinking about what they want to play. Potentially a Dead Bloom. A trade with this set at least, potentially. Maybe a Snapvine. Looks like a Dead Bloom to attack this token. Okay, just kill the token, get a point. Alright. Yeah, don't want to risk throwing it into here, because if it gets stunned, it just dies. I can clear this token out and then worry about this stuff later. Gonna go ahead and play Soul Gorger. Then I'll get back the Mind Splitter and look at the hand again. Probably gonna take the Zenith Blade, the stun. Zenith Blade plus Green Leona is pretty good here. I'm gonna get rid of that card. Got 2 Defies again, just chilling in the hand, not really doing anything right now, but they could be helpful later. I'm gonna go and pull back our units into the safety of our base and develop another set. And another Leona, okay. Their defenses are completely down. They have no energy. So if a couple challenges come out from Misfortune here, they will just resolve. Let's see what Misfortune wants to do here. They could also choose to just pull their units back as well and develop in base. And then wait and make Leona have to go to them to try and score points and then just counterattack. That could be their game plan here. But they're going to gank over a unit and score a point. develop here. This is a bit risky putting stuff here now because of this green Leona and Leona on the board. So they get another Ursine from their Aurora flips. Gonna go ahead and pass the turn over to Leona. Okay, well, this yellow and green Leona combo here is pretty nice in this situation. You can stun another unit, you can just clear one of these boards without them being able to really do anything. And Misfortune's defenses are all down, they have no runes available to them. So there's no counterplay from Misfortune's side of the field. Leona tries to do stuff here. We know their hand is 2 defies and an unknown card. So it's likely that they won't be able to actually do that much here. But I think they can still do some good stuff. Like, if they attack in with this set, this Leona, and this Leona, I think they can clear this whole field here without losing a unit. You stun the Mind Splitter, buff set with Leona, and then he's up to 7 might, and Ursine can't kill him. And you can just wipe both units. It's like they're thinking about how to attack. Yeah, potentially a very pivotal turn. They're going to think through what they're going to do here and sequence their plays. They don't know what card they drew for turn. That could change things. They drew like a Zenith Blade. That would be really good. Yeah, I think this is potentially a very pivotal turn. Leona could clear quite a bit here. Alright, they're gonna put up Leona. Thinking about it. As well as a set. Probably green Leona as well. Yeah. Stun the Mind Splitter and buff set. Buff this set. Okay. Stun this. Alright, interesting that they buffed this set. Maybe they have something in their hand that can help them here. If they buffed this set, he wouldn't have died. So maybe they have a plan with this guy. if you just throw him into here, he trades 1 for 1, which is, I don't think, really what you want to be doing when there's an Aurora on the field. 1 for 1 trades don't really feel that great when your opponent's getting free cards every turn. Just gonna throw him here, okay. I guess they could have... Yeah, I don't know why they let this guy die. Gonna pass the turn over with everything open. Okay, well... Technically, Misfortune has 2 turns to be able to deal with this board. They're at 6. Leona's at 6 right now, so 2 turns of holding wins them the game. We know 2 of their cards in hand are Defy, so Challenge isn't really going to be an option. Bullet Time not really either. They're going to need something else to try and deal with this board. Honestly, if you know your opponent has, like, no units in hand, likely, or, like, anywhere, yeah, Snapvine, Leona kills that. You can just ship, like, Soulgorger and Deadbloom over. Well, at least Deadbloom, to trade with Set. Yeah, I think you can trade both. Ship Soulgorger and Deadbloom to kill both of these, if your opponent doesn't have any responses. Okay, gonna put Deadbloom over and just trade with Set. With tank, yeah, you put damage into the tank first, and then spillover damage goes into other units. Alright, they trade Deadbloom for Set. Honestly, probably still a good trade for Misfortune, because Leona is running out of units. They only have 1 on the board, and probably don't have 1 in hand, or else they probably would have played it. I think if they ganked over with Deadbloom and Soulgorger as well into this combat, they clear the Set and the Green Leona. Maybe they have a plan to deal with this Leona. I'm just going to develop this in base and pass. Leona does go to 7 here. To resolve Aurora. Up some cards until they get a unit. Not that many units left to get. Okay. Alright, there's a Mind Splitter. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's no units in hand. There's a Charm, which I guess kills the Soulgorger. They're gonna pass their turn, holding 1 energy up. Go to 7. Okay, well, I don't think you're breaking this field this turn. Okay, this misfortune is gonna get charmed and die. Alright, that's a start. See another mind splitter coming down. Okay. Play the discipline and draw a card and then show. Okay, double defy. Well, that doesn't do anything in this situation. Yeah, that... I mean, with some better draws, I think Leona could have actually done that. Maybe she could have done that. It might have just been too much to push through with Aurora getting more stuff. But she was close. She was at 7 points. Yeah, that was an interesting game. That was a good game. One would see it if top deck. Yeah. Yeah, it could have happened. Alright, I am gonna go and take a break. I will be back in a few minutes and we'll get into the next round. Alright, I am back. Let's see. This is the wrong tournament. This one. Okay, there we have our round 2 bracket. Let me go ahead and post that. Right, top 8 bracket is up. We've got a Kaisa from the Kaisa mirror moving over. We've got a Yi from the Yi mirror moving over. Let's see what else. Seems that Victor took victory over Jinx. We had the Kaisa mirror, yep. We had a Victor again. And... oh, I think Teemo won. I think they did. Yeah. Teemo in top 8, first time, nice. And we have Kaisa and our misfortune. Okay. Kaisa versus Ramp Emma. Or Teemo versus Victor. I have a feeling we're gonna see a lot of Kaisa later. So let's watch Teemo. Right, table 3. Looks like table 3 is waiting for a player. Once they join in, we'll get up and running. Yeah, so what's top 8? 2 Victor, 2 Kaisa, a Yi, a Teemo, and an MF? Something like that? Teemo and MF both making first time top 8 appearances. Let's go, Emma. Let's see if she can beat Kaisa. I don't know, Kaisa's really fast and has excellent tools to deal with MF's boards. Like, Watcher is just killer against multiple units stacked on a battlefield. Darius is insane too. Yeah. Okay, our Teemo player has to do something, so I guess we will go and watch Misfortune again and see if they can beat Kaisa. Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Hey.
Beat your match.
No problem for me.
Right.
You want to wait for us to wait?
Sure. What's the server name?
It's table 4.
Table
Okay.
4. The password is Riftbound.
And could you promote me?
Alright, I am good to go. You guys can begin whenever. Have fun.
Alright.
Alright, our first batch of top 8. We've got our same MF player against Kaisa. Go ahead and fix the overlay. Top 8. Game 1. Reset the score. And we have Prismat at now 5-1. And Yanjov. At probably the same score. I can go and check. Yeah, 4-1, so 5-1. Alright, got Misfortune, Ramp Misfortune. Again, against Kaisa. This is probably the more aggressive tempo build of Kaisa. Go fast, play a bunch of Accelerate units, take points early, and then close out the game with stuff like Watcher and Darius. And Misfortune, who's just going to sit there and ramp and draw cards, and then start playing big bombs. So it's going to be Kaisa's job to close out the game before there's a critical mass of stuff on Misfortune's side of the field, so that they can no longer deal with all the things that Misfortune is going to play. Alright, they've scored a point so far from the token this made, and this is going to get the second point. And it's going to get gusted. Okay, they're probably just going to play it down again. Yep. Token's going to score another point, and they're just going to pass their turn. Okay, they're at 2 points. They could probably get to 4 this turn, which is what they'll want to be at. They have their Kaisa here that they can accelerate and take a point with. Misfortune's defenses are completely down. They have no energy, so there's no counterplay to anything Kaisa does here. I'm gonna play a Watcher and pass. Okay, interesting not going to 4 points. That's giving Misfortune another turn of the game, potentially. Usually you want to go 2, 4, 6, 8. That's the fastest way to win. They're going to go ahead and Void Seeker this. Deal 4 damage to it, and it'll trade. 5 damage because Void Gate, so it's got 1 left. And potentially play another spell here, a Hextech Ray to kill it. So their Sprite Mother is going to be able to hold and get a point. What app are we playing on? It's Tabletop Simulator. It's a mod made by Willow. Alright, they're going to play an Aurora and start flipping. We'll see what they hit. I could hit a Dead Bloom here, that'd be really good. That would just kill this Sprite Mother, gain a point, establish board presence, and deny a point for Kaisa. So they're going to get a Mind Splitter and look at the hand, and pick a card, any card, put it back into the trash. Okay, there's honestly some pretty good options here. Red Kaisa and Sprite Mother are accelerate units, so they get points immediately. Watcher's really good in this matchup. Maybe they want to take this for later in the game. This card's really good in this matchup. Stupefy doesn't really do that much. Falling Star's nice, but not really in this matchup. Doesn't deal with big stuff that well, especially Dead Blue. I think I'd be inclined to take the Watcher here, just because that card's so good at clearing units, clearing boards. Later in the game, it's probably going to be how Kaisa aims to win this game. If you take that, it could be difficult for them to close it out. Right, they elect to take the Falling Star. With the Stupefy and Falling Star combo, they can kill this Mind Splitter right now, so I do understand why they chose to do that. It'll leave them with the Thousand-Tailed Watcher in hand, though, so that's going to be something they'll have to worry about later. This is up at 4 points here. They could go to 5 if they want to. Looks like they are going to. Probably no reason not to. Watchful Sentry's entire purpose is kind of just to get a point and then die. So, that's what they're doing. Just develop another in base. Play Kaisa to base and pass, establishing a bunch of units onto the board to take points with. Next turn, they will have enough energy to play a Watcher if they really want to. Yeah, this is a little bit of a tricky situation for Misfortune right now. Kaisa's getting pretty far ahead on points and is gonna probably go to 7 next turn, which is a very dangerous number to be at, because that means you can win. Threatening lethal at a high points. So MF is going to try and have Kaisa either not be able to get points now, or have them not be able to actually close out the game and take their 8th point. Gonna play a second Mind Splitter down onto this field. Probably take the Watcher now. They have 2 of them. Okay, well, taking one doesn't do much. You probably still take one, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, laying the Watcher down accelerated, both these units go down to 4. So they will both die to an attack. And then MF will be left with nothing on board. Which is definitely not a situation they want to be in. They do have 3 energy open though, so representing a potential challenge. Which might help, but you can't respond to the Watcher's effect with challenge. That doesn't work. Looks like they're gonna play Immobilize and just ramp a rune. Get some more energy for next turn, and then start flipping for Aurora. Get a Soul Border. I don't know what they have in discard yet. Don't know if they have anything in discard. Where's the song from? The YouTube song library. I don't know. Alright. They do have a unit. They have an Earth sign. Okay, that's really good. They'll have 11 runes at their disposal for next turn. That's a lot to play with. And putting the Soul Gorger and Earth sign out here is really nice. Kaisa could just put this sentry up here and take a point, go to 6, and then wait until next turn to play down their Watcher to try and win next turn. Don't have to spend it now. MF is going to get quite a lot of units onto the board, though. See what they choose to do here. Gonna stupefy one of these. Okay, bring it down to 6. It does die to a falling star now. Could also just be digging for cards that they want to see. Let's see what they plan on doing here. And they don't have to push this turn. They can't actually win this turn. So they could just set up for a push next turn. Or they could attempt to push into this field and potentially clear these guys. Like they're gonna play a Riptide Rex and kill this. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, just develop in their board and get rid of a unit. Set up to win the game next turn. Alright, now it is Misfortune's job to prevent that from happening. They know Kaisa has a Watcher in their hand. That's gonna come down next turn. Okay, they play Dead Bloom to kill this Sentry. Sentry's gonna draw a card. Some nice board development. 8 might onto this field is a lot to deal with. Gotta push up the Earth sign here. And put the Soul Gorger here. Then they're gonna flip off the Aurora a second Dead Bloom. Okay. Right. Let's see how Kaisa wants to deal with this. They have the Watcher in hand that we know of. That can trade with potentially quite a lot here. Kaisa could also just try and run Misfortune out of units. Because we know they've used 2 Mind Splitter, 2 Dead Blooms for Signed Gorger. Maybe another. So they've got a Mind Splitter and a Dead Bloom left in the deck. And some number of Ursines and Gorgers. If they play down the Watcher, everything on the board gets -3. This will be at 2, this will be at 4. So Watcher by itself just beats completely over this field and lives. As long as Misfortune doesn't have any counterplay in their hand. Let's see what Kaisa chooses to do here. They probably have a lot of options available to them, with 6 cards in hand. See what they decide to go with. Gonna go ahead and play a Yordle and draw a card. Okay. Developing more units on the board. Drawing. More cards in hand. Gonna play another Kaisa just in base. Okay. And pass. So they're gonna set up more of a board and give Misfortune more time to develop more units, I guess. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, especially if a Mind Splitter comes down and takes your Watcher away. Yeah, how does Kaisa win now? Yeah, without Watcher, this is looking a lot less favorable for Kaisa. I think that's both Watchers discarded off of Mind Splitters. So I don't think Kaisa has any more left in their deck, which is not good, because that card is how you beat a situation like this. Yeah, the play might have been to just play the Watcher down last turn and clear as much as the board as you can as possible. Alright, they're gonna play another and take more cards. Yeah, I think Kaisa might be pushed out of this game now. I mean, none of these cards here are really that great for Kaisa, I'll be honest. I guess you can take the Stupefy to stop them from drawing into more answers, I guess. But yeah, none of these cards in hand really accomplish anything in this situation. There's just too many guys on the board to be able to actually push through and deal with all this stuff. Looks like they are going to take the Stupefy. Probably just try and stop Kaisa from drawing into whatever answers they may have. Not that I think they have an answer. Not sure if Kaisa run unchecked. Nobody's really running that card. It's only helpful against this deck, and this is not a very popular deck. Go play a Sprite Mother, get a token. Just attack with the token. Play something else as well. Smoke Screen onto this. Brings it down to 3 and trades with the token. Gust the token, and the token will just disappear. Okay. X-Tech ready to kill this. Sure. I don't think Kaisa can meaningfully impact the game anymore, but they're gonna try. Ship everything. Okay. Well, they could try and hold. Some of these units are gonna die. We've got 12 total. Might from this side of the field kills Rex and a Kaisa and a Yordle. Double Kaisa, sure. I don't want to get them any draws. It's fair enough. They've got 9 might on this field here, which does just die to this stuff. Gonna play the last card in hand, Raven Bloom, onto this field. They don't have anything to proc its effects, so this is just 11 might total sitting here, which dies to an attack. They can ship 12 plus anything they really want, but it doesn't matter. Send Soul Gorger, kill those two, and then just attack with Splitter over this, yeah. Mr. Riptide Rex. Yeah. They're at 7, they're holding both fields. There's no way Kaisa can clear both these. So they're just gonna hold and win. Yeah, resolving some dazzling trigger. Getting an Ursine. Develop Misfortune up here, and yeah, just sit with all their units on fields, and nothing Kaisa can do about that. Yeah, I think Kaisa probably should have just slammed the Watcher down when they had the chance. Maybe the game still would have been won by Misfortune, but I think that would have given Kaisa a better chance of winning. Alright, it's going to be 1 win over to Misfortune. On to Game 2. There's going to go ahead and sideboard some cards in. This usually sides either Vi or Thermo Beam into this matchup. Or Legion Rearguard is also nice for early game points scoring and aggression. So is Noxus Hopeful. Third copy of Watcher if they play it in the sideboard. We've got some decent options to side into this matchup. Alright, Targons. That kind of helps Misfortune, but there's not really much to spend your energy on in the early to mid game. Also got Obelisk, that's good for Misfortune. Lets them start with an extra energy, get closer to playing their Aurora. Looks like Targon might have bugged for them, I don't know. Alright, we're gonna start game 2. Both players are gonna do their mulligans. Okay, so he's gonna put 2 of them back. Misfortune will put 1 back. Alright, gonna go ahead and start over with a stacked deck, drawing them closer to their win condition. And pass the turn over. Okay. Kaisa is going to start with 8 on her turn, so she could just develop a Kaisa in base if she wanted. Also play a bunch of 2-drops if she wants. Looks like it's going to be a Kaisa. You could potentially play 2 2-drops down and then score 2 next turn. That'd be pretty good, but looks like they didn't draw it. Play a Catalyst. Yeah, Misfortune's going to be able to play Aurora next turn if they have it. That will be pretty good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take their first point at Targon's. Draw a card, get the Targon's effect. Not that it really matters into this matchup. It's just nice to have some extra energy. They go ahead and accelerate a second Kaisa to take a second point. Alright, that's pretty nice. Draw another card. They're at 2 already. If their field goes uncontested, they'll be at 4 next turn. That's pretty nice. Right, yeah, we have an Aurora and a Mind Splitter coming down. Okay, these Kaisas are going to get to live, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at the hand. No Watchers this time. Double Darius is pretty nice from Kaisa. And Falling Star plus Stupefy combo, we see that again. They might just take the Falling Star again to save this guy. Probably. Or a Darius would be a decent pick as well. Yeah, these Kaisas both getting to live is really nice because you get to go to 4. That is really nice. And pull them back into base. The safety is also really nice. Love to see in higher res if possible. I'm gonna test it and see. I think 1080p might be laggy, but I'm not sure. I'd rather have a smooth 720 than a really laggy 1080. Like the jump from 720 to 1080 streaming is a lot. So it might not be possible for me right now. I'll look into it. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and pass their turn to Kaisa. They'll pull back both their units after scoring up to 4. Go ahead and play a Thermo Beam. Okay, so they side this card. Go ahead and destroy this gear. That's Misfortune's win condition gone. Let's see if they get another one out. They will develop a unit in base and just pass their turn. Okay. Pretty good turn for Misfortune. Put down a scrap heap and draw a card. Looks like they don't have a second Aurora yet. They're trying to draw into it. Gonna attack into Targons with this guy and develop an Urside. Just play another rune. Ready 2 from Targons and pass. Might have a challenge available to stop something from Kaisa here. Kaisa has enough energy to play a Darius and another card, which is pretty nice. Potentially be able to clear this field this turn. If they can do that, they can go up to 6 points, which is really nice. Yeah, they're gonna put Darius down. Yeah, play down Darius. He's gonna get readied. Play the Falling Star, killing this Ursine. Okay, Unyielding Spirit's gonna protect it though. It's pretty nice. Now if they want to attack into this field, they're gonna have to spend a bunch of units to do so. Darius will trade with this. You can throw Kaisa, both of them, into this. One of them's gonna die. Then you'll still have a Kaisa. You'll take a point and you'll draw a card. Then you can take another point with this rear guard. So, potentially worth the play. Yeah, looks like that's what they're gonna do. Going up to 6 points in this matchup was really nice. Giving your opponent less time to develop is good. Yeah. Okay. You elect to let them kill both of their Kaisas. You could just swing in with Darius and trade, and then swing in with both Kaisas and keep a Kaisa and draw if you want to. Looks like they're gonna keep the Darius though. Who is gonna die to a dead bloom. Alright, well, if Kaisa has a Watcher, they could potentially win the game next turn. They hold with this, go up to 7, and then just score with Watcher and win. Looks like they're gonna play a Void Seeker onto this to kill it. Okay, they trade with the Darius. There's an Accelerate unit in the hand of Kaisa. They will win the game. They could also just try and hold if they want to. Alright, that's Sprite Mother, which takes this field and wins. Alright, that is 1-1, tied match. I'm gonna go ahead and go to game 3 here. Alright, it looks like we're gonna be playing on Aspirants. That's pretty good for Misfortune. It gives them just an extra turn, potentially, to play the game and develop. And Reckoner's Arena, which is good for Kaisa, because it can proc this effect again. Alright, gonna stack their deck. Get a card. Just digging closer to their win condition and any cards they would want. And pass the turn. Okay. Gonna play a Yordle, draw a card, and pass. Alright, they're gonna start ramping 2 more runes. That's 1 turn closer to getting to their Aurora. Still gonna have to wait 2 turns though. So Kaisa has a bit of time to do stuff now. Gonna accelerate Kaisa, go here. Take a point, draw a card, and then ship Yordle here, take another point, and pass. Don't forget to draw the card. Alright, Buck in front, it's pretty nice. They might be able to kill this Kaisa. We'll see. Play Misfortune, yep, they're gonna probably attack over this. Alright, that's pretty nice. Clearing that denies them a card and a point. Wait, they should be at 3 points, right? I think. They conquered twice and held once. I think they should be at 3. Oh, no, they're gonna play a Gust and deny them the point. Okay. And then pass. Alright, yeah, it's looking like a good situation for Misfortune this game. They've managed to deny a lot of early game scoring and pressure, while also keeping the opponent's points low. I'm gonna go ahead and Falling Star to kill this. Alright, pretty slow game from Kaisa. And play Sprite Brother to take a point. Alright. Which gets gusted. Okay, that's really good for Misfortune. If they develop an Aurora here, that's... Okay, they're gonna Mind Splitter. Potentially look for answers to their Aurora before they commit it to the board, which Kaisa currently has none. They've got Watcher, which is nice. Probably take that. Yeah, they've got a lot of cheap removal and cheap units in their hand. Plus Watcher and Darius. I think Watcher's the biggest threat in this hand. Just getting rid of one of those seems really nice. Yeah, the falling star is good, but it doesn't really do much right now unless they can draw like a smoke screen or a stupefy. Hextech Ray and Seeker are good, but they don't do that much. Yordle draws, which could draw them into a thermo beam, or I guess that's about it. I think I'd still probably take Watcher though. That's just really good in this matchup. Their opponent might just be making note of which cards are in their hand here. How's Lux doing? None in the top 16. Well, I think I'm gonna go in. Ugh. I'm gonna go clear my throat. Hold on a second. Okay, I should be good now. Alright. I can't see what they took. But it looks like... not... not much. Ugh. Sorry, allergies. Yeah, it looks like they didn't do much. They're just developing a bloom onto the board with a Sprite Mother, and that's it. Still going pretty slow here. Just play an Aurora. Okay. Could attack the Mind Splitter into this. Start clearing some stuff, but it looks like they're not going to do that. Oh, Dead Bloom. Okay. Yeah, that's good to attack with. Yeah, I think Kaisa's either going to need to find an answer to Dazzling or just lose from this point, because they are not far enough ahead on points yet. Misfortune's done a really good job of stabilizing the board and not letting Kaisa take points. Reckoner's Arena's not in the zone. I think sometimes it breaks if you put it there, I'm not sure. Tabletop Simulator can be buggy sometimes. Yeah, they're just gonna let this die for the Dead Bloom. Okay. Yeah, it's really not looking good for Kaisa. They've been slowed down a ton this game and just don't have much of a points lead, and the opponent's established an Aurora and has simplified the game state to where it can just take over the game. Yeah, I mean, from this point onward, I think Kais is going to struggle a lot to try and get back into this game. We don't have an answer to Dazzling. Plus, Dad Bloom is just a menace to deal with. You don't have Watcher. You have to throw so many cards at this guy just to kill him. And when you do, you pay the deflect costs, so that's not good. Play Yordle and draw. Potentially just trying to dig into answers to this card. We'll see if they manage to find any in time. Is to Aurora the most we've seen resolved in play? I think so. 2 in play at the same time is crazy. Yeah, just develop some guys, draw some cards, and pass. They're gonna try and dig for an answer to this. It might already be too late, though. Yeah, Misfortune has the option of taking the points lead this turn, which is really not where the opponent wants to be. A ramp deck having the points lead is so much trouble. Decking yourself out of creatures is funny, yeah. Aurora MF looks interesting. What's her early game? Oh, that's funny. She doesn't do that. Yeah, you just sit and ramp and play stuff like Gust, and then you play Aurora, and that's your entire game plan. Yeah, the ramp deck having the points lead is like so much trouble for the opponent. That is rough. Right, gonna go ahead and resolve Aurora after pulling Devlin back to safety and putting this guy up on a field. Okay, another Mind Splitter. Gonna look at the hand again. See what we've got this time. A Watcher, that's probably getting taken. Riptide Rex is pretty nice here too, but this card's very strong in this matchup. So this Mind Splitter's dead, no matter what you do here, really. Yeah, probably just take Watcher. You're gonna kill this with, like, Rex and something anyway, but they're spending a bit to do that. I think you're fine with that. Deck lists will be in the Discord after the tournament's over. And also in the report video about the tournament. Yeah, I mean, this is just a ton of units from MF. Realistically, there's not anything that Kaisa can do from this point onward. They've fallen so so far behind in points, and MF has just established such a big field. There's really nothing Kaisa can do to try and get back into this game. They can kill this, they can go to 5 points here, but doesn't really accomplish that much. The problem is still happening. So, okay, they're gonna Falling Star this Ursine. Just clearing the board a little bit more. Probably just put both the Ordals up onto these fields to go to 5, and then lose them to a counterattack. And then MF is gonna develop 2 more big units somewhere, which you'll also have to deal with. But you most likely won't be able to deal with. Or just not. They're just gonna chill. Okay. Giving Misfortune even more time to develop their board, I'm not sure is a great idea. Gonna go here with Dead Bloom and go to 5 points. Gonna go to 6. Play a challenge. Oh, yep, kill the Rex. Just cleaning up the board. We're also gonna play an Ursine into base. Get a rune back. Not that that matters. Looks like they'll put it up onto this field. And resolve their Aurora to get another Dead Bloom onto this field. Yeah, just more and more might coming down onto the board. Kaisa's board getting cleaned up. If they manage to draw a Watcher and play it down this turn, they can either just attack over this guy or start trading a bit into this board. Stupefy onto this. They might have another Rex here or a Falling Star to kill it. They might just be trying to draw into better stuff. Looks like they have a Darius. It's going to be able to attack over this guy. Okay. They go to 4. MF is going to go up to 7 and be able to gank one of their units over to kill this Darius. Go up to 8 points and be holding both battlefields. Which is a very scary situation to be in if you're Kaisa. Gonna go here and try and hold. But Misfortune's gonna win the holding game. They're ahead on points. It's up to Kaisa to actually break this field. They could swing a Dead Bloom into here and kill 4 units. That's a lot of units to kill. and just have this Darius chilling here. Looks like they're gonna gank into Ursine. Kill 3 of their units. Okay. And then potentially play a Dead Bloom from hand and kill the rest. Yep. 8 might to 7. Both of these die. And Kaisa has no energy up, so there's nothing they can do about that. Yeah, Misfortune's holding both fields. They'll be at 8 points, and they're just gonna win from holding next turn. So, looks like the game's over. Alright, well, that is a Misfortune victory. 2-0 over to Misfortune. Alright, let me go ahead and see the bracket. Let's see who is in semifinals. We've got Presto on Master Yi. We've got Majority on Kaisa, so Yi versus Kaisa. That seems to be a very popular matchup this format. And Freaks is on Victor and our Misfortune. Victor Misfortune. Which match should we watch? I mean, we've watched a lot of Misfortune. We go ahead and post the bracket. Actually, it's not done yet. Let me go ahead and take a break, like a few minutes, and I'll be back and I'll post the bracket and stuff. Okay, I'm back. You want to see another MF game? Another one? We just saw 2. Okay. Go ahead and post the bracket. Okay, we're gonna watch a third MF game.
Yeah.
Hoping
Hello.
someone would take you out.
They didn't even
gonna-
show up.
They didn't show up for which? For semis or
For
or
both.
not semis?
You
Order?
got
For
skipped.
both? Really? You got to just walk all the way to
Yep.
semifinals? Oh my god. Okay.
Someone sabotaged my opponent to screw you, surely.
Yeah. They don't want to allow the MF to get there.
I'm here to watch the third MF game.
Oh boy. Am I playing too slowly?
No, you're fine.
Because I'm noticing anyone. Okay.
It's called Table 2 Password Riftbound.
Alright. I need to restart TTS. It doesn't want to finish loading if I don't restart in between every game. I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Set up. So when you guys are ready, you can go ahead and start.
Okay.
Okay. Timo got knocked out. Yeah. Yeah. There's still a top 8. That's the first time Timo's done that. These two played last match yesterday, so it's a rematch. Okay. 2 out of freaks. Yeah. I think Victor at least builds a Victor that play like a bunch of Hidden Blades and Coals are heavily favored into this matchup. And if they play Salvage in the sideboard, it's like, what's Misfortune supposed to do against those cards? Let me go ahead and reset my overlay. Prismat now on 6 and 1. How do we figure out freaks? Ooh, I don't know what their score is. They are currently 7-0. Undefeated. Should be so Victor favorite. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yellow's just incredible at dealing with ramp Aurora decks. Alright, we've got Misfortune, the ramp Misfortune, again, for the 3rd time against Victor. This matchup should be heavily favored for Victor, because Yellow's so good at dealing with ramp as a general strategy, and Aurora as a card, as well as just big units, so we'll see how this goes. Double Obelisk game 1, though, is good for Misfortune. That's double ramp, but if they go second, that's turn 3 Aurora. But Victor is going first with 4 energy, so they're going to put 2 units on the board, most likely. Yeah, next turn they're going to be able to score 2 points, which is very good. That's an extremely fast points lead. Alright, they're going to ramp into Catalyst. Next turn they can potentially play an Aurora. That's pretty fast. Victor is going to get 2 points here, maybe. Nope, they're going to gust one of them. Lay down a Sprite Mother and take the point anyway. Okay. Victor's at 2. They could go to 4 next turn. Yeah, if they have Catalyst, Gust, and Aurora with double Obelisk, you can't ask for a better start than that. They'd better win this game if they have that. We'll see if they actually have it though. They're thinking, which probably means they don't just have Aurora, because they could slam it down right now, and that'd be really good. But I don't think they have it. Okay. Invert timelines. Discard their hand and draw 4. Alright, discarding a Hidden Blade and a Coal from Victor's pretty good. Timelines gets to draw 4, and then Scrap Heap is going to draw another, so they'll draw 5. Pretty nice. Maybe they have both Discard and Aurora. Can be worth a check. See if the coast is clear first. In games 2 and 3, yes. Post side, because they'll potentially have salvages, but not game 1. Game 1, nobody's main decking answers to gear. That's just not a thing people do. I'm gonna go ahead and develop Misfortune after playing their wheel. Yeah, Victor's gonna go to 4. That's pretty good. Singularity to kill this FF and make a token. Alright, yeah. They're controlling the board and they're taking a bunch of points fast. So MF is going to have to do something quick or else the game is just going to be lost too fast. Alright, they're going to put a Dead Bloom down onto the field. They're at 5. If they have any kill spell, they'll probably go to 6. Also just for kill spells. Even if they have kill spells, it's still better to play Aurora first. Okay, they're gonna go to 5 and pass. Not dealing with this Dead Bloom yet. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it there and let it chill. They're at a big points lead, so next turn they could go to 6 and then just have a grand stratagem in the following turn to close out the game. Could be a game plan that they intend to go for. Of course, that kind of loses to Mind Splitter taking it out of the hand. It's Aurora now or bust. Yeah, I think even if they get an Aurora now, it might still be too late. Okay. I'm gonna opt to play this. Can this guy get anything? Yeah, I think they should get the Mind Splitter here, right? And check if they have stratagem. We're gonna get misfortune though. Interesting. What do they plan to do with this? That it's better than getting a Mind Splitter. Okay, a couple cards would be really good here. Watcher and Stratagem would be really nice. Watcher would be really good here. Clear a lot of this field. I'm gonna play Stupefy on this. Eventually draw into something more useful. Doesn't play Stratagem? Okay. Yeah, you can get to 6 here just by attacking over this guy. And then just chill and wait for next turn. It does give the opponent more opportunities to play Mind Splitter and potentially take your win condition. Yeah, I don't know what top end they play in this deck. Typically, it's Watcher and Stratagem. Reptide Rex would also be pretty nice here. Yeah, looks like they might just trade with this Dead Blue. Clear up some of Misfortune's board. Okay. He has Watchers? Yeah. That'd be really good. Gonna trade here as well. Just clear up some of this board and go up to 6, up to 7. Yeah, I mean, if they have a Watcher in hand or any way to play one out, that's really good. They take a card from Victor's hand, they attack over something with MF, and they ready the Watcher to get the other field. Wall up on both fields and take Victor's only potential answer to that situation would be extremely strong here. They might not have that option though. Can't play Aurora. Yeah. He needs to either have Hard Draw Watcher or Soul Gorger to be able to bring it out. Yeah, some other plays aren't bad. You have access to enough energy for Dead Bloom here to clear both fields. But then you just lose to a Watcher. Okay, tapping 8. Alright, gonna play the Soul Gorger. Get a Dead Bloom. Oh, they don't have enough runes. Oh, they don't have another purple to place the... Yeah. They can only get Dead Bloom. That is unfortunate. Yeah, they don't have enough purple for Mind Splitter to play it. I mean, this is still a pretty good play, but you don't get to look at Victor's hand for answers. They're gonna go ahead and pass their turn. Okay, 10 here and 6. Alright, there's a Watcher. Yeah, that wins. Yeah. If they had another purple rune, they could potentially have gotten that game. Yeah, that could have been pretty close, honestly. If they had been able to put out a Mind Splitter there that turn, they could take the Watcher out of the opponent's hand, and potentially they don't have an answer to their board. Yeah, good game. Really close. Okay, now game 2, they get to sideboard. And if Victor's playing salvages, this could potentially be very difficult for Misfortune, because that card is insane against Aurora. It just kills it for 2 energy and draws a card. Yeah, that's crazy. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and sideboard for game 2. Misfortune probably wants... I don't really know what you want in this matchup. Maybe ways of clearing tokens? I know when Gale played his set Aurora build, he played a lot of early game stuff like First Mates and Snapvines. So those are potentially things that Misfortune can side into this matchup to try and wall out tokens and deal with Victor's units. Maybe you just side the Aurora out of the deck because it's just so bad into salvage. Cannon Barrage an option? Maybe. I think Flurry of Blades is just better against Victor. Right, they're gonna stack their deck, look at some cards. We've got Targons and Sigil. Okay. Sigil's good to slow the opponent down when you're playing a slow ramp deck when you need to develop, so it's really good for MF here. And Targons is honestly not that relevant in this matchup. It might be late game just to give like 2 extra energy for a challenge or something from Victor, but it won't really do much, I don't think. Right, they're just gonna pass their turn after digging a bit. Victor's gonna make a token, play a second unit. Okay, it's still buff from last game. Yeah, they're gonna be able to take 2 points next turn, which is a pretty fast block that they're putting MF on, as MF is really slow and it's going to take a bunch of time to develop. Victor is going to start accruing a bunch of points, potentially way too fast for MF to be able to stop. Gonna take Sigil, get rid of a rune. Go ahead and take Targon's. Go up to 2 points already on turn 2. That's a really fast start, but that kind of is what Victor is designed to do. Play a unit base and play another unit in base and maybe pass the turn. Yeah, just pass over. Gonna play a Catalyst and ramp 2. They could play an Aurora down next turn, so let's see if they could do that, but it might be too fast on Victor's side. Oh god, okay, well, the Sabotage is gonna take a card from hand, but there's 3 extremely good removal spells in this matchup, and you're taking one of them, so gonna have to deal with 2 of them. Yeah, the moment Misfortune puts any large unit on the board, it is just gonna die. And Victor's already at 4 points. This is looking like a very strong position for Victor to be in. That's a huge point lead already, 4-0. Misfortune has nothing on the field and is going to have to contend with 2 extremely potent removal spells. Is that just a concede angle? Potentially, but we have no timer for... Well, I mean, I guess we do, but we can't have ties, so... Probably still just play the game out. Yeah, I think you pull both these units back off these fields to play around a Dead Bloom. Seems like that's what they're gonna do. And then they're gonna develop Victor and pass, yeah, just making their board state even better. And here comes an Aurora, but it might be too late. The unit they play off of this, unless it's Mind Splitter, is just gonna die to a Cull, so I better hope they hit that. Or else this Aurora isn't really doing anything this turn. Okay, Soul Gorger. I don't know what they have in discard. Nothing. Okay, well, that's a really bad hit. It's a very strong deck, but it has a hard time against yellow. Especially a deck as fast as Victor with good removal. Yeah, this is like the hardest matchup, I would imagine. And I would imagine that set is probably also not a good matchup for this deck. That also plays yellow, and set's legend effect is just really crazy. It's saving your stuff, and they have stuff to punch over your guys with orange, like orange set. Yeah, that matchup is probably good for set as well. Yeah, I mean, Victor just has to put up 2 tokens onto these fields and go to 6, and then next game they're threatening lethal, so... Yeah. If they kill this Soul Gorger, then It's gonna be really hard for Misfortune to stick units onto battlefields next turn. Try and prevent Victor from just winning. Gonna go to 6. Gonna play Cole, potentially. Cycle with Sigil. And yeah, just pass. Just chill. They don't really have to do anything. Gonna attack with this. Gonna play a Falling Comet to kill it. Sure. Yeah, it's just gonna die. Okay, they have a dead bloom, but this is getting beaten over by Victor on board already. Okay, you can, I mean, they've got Cole or Hidden Blade. I mean, yeah, they still just kill this. So, on board, this is dead, and then whatever unit you play is also dead. But it doesn't matter, because yeah. They could have hit maybe a Mind Splitter and then taken the second removal spell, and that would put them in a decent spot. But as it stands, they just lose the game on board, I think. Could see a Rebuke from Misfortune that could maybe help. Yeah, they're gonna Hidden Blade the Dead Bloom. Paying the D-flat cost, and it will die. Misfortune will draw 2, and they had another Hidden Blade. And it will just die, and that will be the game. Yep. Yeah, yellow's removal is just extremely potent at dealing with this deck. Yeah, this should be a wrap. Looks like they might be talking about something, but I don't really think anything Misfortune does at this point is going to help. Yeah, I mean, they had a bunch of big dudes in hand. Another Aurora, bunch of big guys, but just no time to play them. Right, let me check the bracket. Okay, we've got our finals. Go ahead and notify them. I am gonna go ahead and take a break before we start with finals. Victor versus Yi. So Victor Yi final. Okay, it'll be interesting to see how that matchup goes. Yi can kind of just wall out Victor's tokens, so we'll see what happens with that matchup. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a break and I will be right back. Right, I am back. I'll go ahead and notify the players that our bracket is up. And we'll get into finals. Hello.
Hey.
Ready for finals?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Alright. Anybody have a lobby?
Yeah, I sent you the message. It's just table 1 and the password's 123.
Got it.
Who's actually a higher seed now? Because I had higher coming in, but he's from upper brackets.
Oh, could you reload the table real quick? There's a bunch of zeros.
Oh. I assume you are. What seed were you?
I was C2 going in, but I don't know if you take over the top seed.
Let me go
Right.
Upper bracket.
look at the brackets. It says 2nd to 8. Oh, that's just
Yeah,
the
I
same
would
as
assume.
always. I assume it is still the 2nd seed that gets it, because you guys have both the same score.
Okay.
If you want to do that, that's fine.
Doesn't bother me. Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Looking forward to my dinner.
So I was choosing first.
Yeah.
Alright. Go ahead and deafen. Good luck.
Good luck.
Alright. Gonna go ahead and get into finals here. Let me adjust. There we go. And finals. Game 1. And the score is even. And we've got Greeks at 8-0. And also Presto, whose score I will check now. Four and 1, so 7-1 total. Okay. Right, it is Victor with yellow Victor, of course, and Yi with orange Yi, of course. Going into game 1 with star-tipped peak. This will be good for whoever goes first, really. Maybe a little bit better for Yi, because he can actually hold stuff, and Victor can't really do that in the early game. At Arena's Greatest, which just starts the game off with a point to everybody. Victor seems to be unbeatable in this meta. I actually put him as not top tier. I think Kaisa, Set, and Master Yi are all slightly better. He is definitely a very good deck, arguably top tier, but I think he's just beaten out a little slightly. I'm gonna go ahead and develop a bunch of units down on the board really quick. Gonna go ahead and grab a point. With 1 energy up, Yi is probably just gonna look to attack this field and kill this token. Four blue runes, yeah. That might matter, but yeah, I think this is the play Victor wanted to do anyway, just develop a bunch of units early. Victor has won 2 of these tournaments though, so he's still pretty good. Yeah, they may consider just taking this battlefield to get the extra channel effects off of it and just ignore this token, but you do give Victor a point by letting him do this, letting him keep this token here. Could run into Stupefy? Yeah, but he's got 5 energy up and he's playing Yi. He probably has a pump spell in hand. Maybe he doesn't, and that's why he chose to make this play. Okay, I'm gonna Falling Comet this guy, or Little Poro. He's gonna die to a meteor hitting his face. Okay, here's a Discipline. Going up to 4. Just drawing a card and then dying. And gonna make a token and pass. Okay, well, Victor's taken full control over the board and is at 4 points already, so pretty good. He is gonna, okay, push here with this guy. That's really nice. Victor has no response because they have no energy. This denies Victor a point, denies them to going to 6, which is pretty nice here. Victor going to 6 is very scary because it puts them in range of potential lethal. Gonna go ahead and play Singularity. That's extremely strong. Game 1 when they don't have any sideboard potential to counter that. Just kill both their units, take both fields, go to 6, and they present lethal next turn. That's an extremely strong position for Victor to be in. Okay, they're gonna not play their legend, they're gonna play Master Yi out onto the field and attack. Gonna Hidden Blade it, okay, yep. And they're gonna counter that with a Defy. So this token's gonna die, and this Yi is gonna be holding with 8 total might and a hidden card. Probably Azania's to protect him from dying, but it doesn't really matter that much right now. All Victor has to do is get the Yi off of this field, and they win. Yeah, if they have a Riptide Rex here, that could be very good. Another Singularity would be good. A Watcher would be excellent. Fallen Comet, also really good. Represents just killing this guy, so they better have, with 1 energy open, yeah, it looks like they don't have anything, and they're just gonna concede. Okay, well, that was really fast from Victor. Just had a bunch of removal spells that Yi does not like seeing game 1 when they don't have any answers in their deck, like Unyielding, to try and counter those cards. Yeah, I mean, Victor just kept making tokens and killing all the units that he tried to do anything with, so they just won. Alright, gonna go ahead and go into game 2. He is probably going to side Unyielding in, seeing as Victor is playing a ton of removal spells that deal damage. So Victor might counterside and take some of those cards out of their deck to lower the effectiveness of Yi's sided yielding. We'll see what they choose to do here, though. Right, we have Start to Peak. That's the same one as last time. Did they not pick yet? Yeah, okay. Right. They finish siding, they're gonna pick their fields, and we're gonna get into this game. I'm assuming Yi is gonna choose to go first, because that's probably just what you do in this matchup. Game's really easy to follow, but quite difficult to play. Yeah, I think this game's pretty easy to learn, but definitely very difficult to master. Especially when it comes to deck building in early formats and figuring out early gameplay. With only 300 cards in the set, though, it's not that bad. It's not that many cards. Alright, we've got Grove. Hold here to draw 1. That's really good for Yi, especially when going first. And Targon's is also really good for Yi. Okay. We'll see how this one goes. He's just gonna lay down a unit turn 1 and pass their turn. Victor is gonna follow suit, laying down their own unit, and just passing. He is going to put their Poro onto Grove, and maybe develop another unit in base, maybe just pass. Probably develop a unit if they have one. Yeah, that's really good. Scarred is going to go ahead and buff this Poro up to 3 base, +1 to shield, +2 from E, so up to 6 on defense. It's a pretty tanky guy for just 2 energy. This should be tapped, but it doesn't matter. Alright, let's see what Victor chooses to do to respond to this situation. Yi is currently at the points lead, so Victor is gonna have to break this field down at some point to be able to take the points lead and actually start winning, or else Yi is just gonna win from holding. So we'll see how Victor chooses to approach this situation. Yeah, just taking a point with the token is probably fine. And developing a unit, killing the token, and putting down a patron. Pretty good. That's pretty nice development. Yi can potentially go to 3 points here if they want to. I'm not sure if they do, because they just lose this unit. They might have enough in their hand to protect them from the patron just swinging over, though, especially with Targon's extra energy. So we'll see. Way down to Zondias, that's nice. It's going to protect a unit if it ever dies. And they're going to put down a Kiana, which is also pretty nice. Decent unit. Not as relevant in this matchup. It's really good against Kaisa because of the deflect, but I guess sometimes Victor does target it. Let's see how they're going to approach this situation. Yi with 2 energy up is potentially a bit scary. Attacking in with 6 might against a total of 4. So if Yi plays any pump spell, right, they would trade, but it looks like they're just going to let this die and be protected by Zonias. Just give up the battlefield and the point. They've got 7 open energy available to them, so they could develop a lot here. If they have a Riptide Rex in hand, that is an excellent answer to this Poro just chilling on this field over here. Let's see what they have, though. Singularity is also really good. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna use a Singularity, probably against this Poro and the Kiana. Paying the deflect cost, that's gonna kill both of those units. Okay. That just goes through. And we might just see a repeat of last game, where Victor just constantly keeps killing all of Yi's units with spells, and Yi just doesn't get to play the game with any units. Go ahead and make a token and pass the turn. Okay. Debating whether to put this token. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up here so that this unit doesn't just walk straight over one of these tokens. They have to actually spend a spell to be able to beat over them. Let's see what they choose to do. Alright, they're gonna spend a discipline to bump this up to 4 to be able to swing over both of these tokens. Victor does have 2 energy open, so we'll see if that goes through. Victor probably will just let that go through, because they can attack back with this Poro and just beat over this rookie. Spirit's Refuge, okay. This is an anti-Kais attack, but I guess it's also relevant in this matchup against cards like this. This rookie's currently at 3 might, swinging over these 2, so it's going to take this field. Unless Victor does something about it, which they might be contemplating. Could spend a Stupefy if they want to, and trade, which is probably a good idea. They might have a Hidden Blade in their hand, though. I don't think that's worth spending on this. That would be recycling 2 runes. One for Hidden Blade's cost, and another for Deflect, which would be extremely expensive to just kill this rookie. I think you just let this attack go through. That's the card you're debating. Okay, they're gonna do it. That's an extremely expensive Hidden Blade. It costs 2 runes gone and also gives your opponent 2 cards. We'll see if that decision comes back to bite them. Yeah, let's see what Victor can do this turn with low energy count. Just gonna pull back and develop a Leona. Okay. They're at such a huge rune disadvantage now. They are ahead on board, but you might be able to take over this game just from energy advantage alone. We'll see, though. Wait, they have Leona? I guess, yeah. I mean, it is pretty good at punching into E's fields where they only have 1 unit. Leona Solosi, yeah, it does seem very good. Okay, they're gonna put this Poro up here with a buff. We'll be holding for 6. Leona's good into a lot of decks. It's okay. Seems like he is contemplating how they want to approach the situation. Charm onto... That doesn't work. That's going to stun you. Looks like they realize that and they don't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, that play does not work. That accomplishes nothing. Tech challenge against that? Yeah. They could also just let the Leona swing and kill something and then kill it back. But Victor is ahead on points, so I think they're gonna play a first mate and move up here. Okay. Interesting. Going to 5. Putting this unit up. Readying 2. Okay, so they have 5 available, I guess. Okay. Well, Leona attacks into one of these boards and wins, but they could have a primal strength in their hand to at least stop the Leona from killing stuff. They could have charmed a different unit, yeah. Yeah, charm does trigger Leona's attack. She is the attacker in that situation and her ability activates. So you don't kill her with charm. You can still charm other units, so like Oro would have been a good target. Charm Leona onto field and accelerate you to kill her. Yeah, they could have done that too. Five energy up with you is a little scary to face because of primal strength. Victor does have a lot of units on the board though. Looks like they're mathing out how they want to attack in this situation. This 4 is currently defending for 6. And this for 5. So don't really think you can account for a primal strength in this situation. At least not with the stuff you have on board. Let's see if they commit their attacks. Okay, Luna's gonna stun this, and they're gonna put 6 total, so they're just gonna let that go through, okay. With only 6 total, they could have played like an on guard or a discipline to save the Poro. Have all this stuff bounce back to base if they wanted to. Now if you attack here, they play Primal Strength. It is really bad for Victor. We'll see if they actually have that though. They might not. With 5 energy up, it's a possibility. Looks like they do have that. Okay. That is gonna go up to 7 plus 4, 11 against 8 is going to win this combat. Oh yeah, they do have to pay for Spirit's Refuge, you're right. Good catch. Yeah, when Leona triggers to target a unit with a buff on it, Spirit's Refuge says it has Deflect, so you have to pay a rune to do that. Yeah, Victor is not looking in the best position here. Yi is gonna go to 6, and this board is not the scariest thing ever. They'll have enough energy for White Flame or another Primal Strength and just beat right over all of this stuff. So Victor might just run out of gas. Okay, but they do have enough energy up for a Hidden Blade. So if they do turbo pump this first mate and swing in with it, it could just die. That'd be really good for Victor. We'll see what happens here. It can also just accelerate this Yi and trade with this and then move in with this guy. If they want to do that, that's an option. Don't know if that's a great option. Sacking all his mana was not the play. Yeah, I think that Hidden Blade, paying 2 runes and giving the opponent 2 cards just to kill a pit rookie probably wasn't worth it. Looks like they're contemplating attacking with Yi. Yeah, you could also just hit the first mate and kill both these recruits. It dies, but then you accelerate Yi and kill the Leona and have a Yi left over, which is really nice. Okay, let's see if they have a Hidden Blade. Nope. Alright. They go to 7. They're holding both fields. They get the Targon's extra energy. This is 4 to break through and 8 might to break through, so that is a lot of might to get through for Victor. And if they don't play Grand Stratagem, they can't play it anyway, they don't have the yellow. I think this, well, they could have Riptide Rex. If they Riptide Rex the sea and kill it, they could win. Well, no, they couldn't. They wouldn't have enough might, even with that, so. Okay, Singularity, though. That is really good. It might be met with a counter here. Yeah, they're gonna buff up Yi, I would imagine. Up to 8, so he's got 6 damage on him. Okay, gonna go ahead and swing with both. This is 4 might swinging in, which is enough to kill him. He's up to 10 now. Just trade everything and pass the turn. I mean, I guess. You just go here, you draw a card, and if you hold anything, you can win, or just play a Kiana and accelerate it and win the game. Okay. Yeah. Alright, that... yeah, I mean, that was pretty close. It seemed really close in the mid game, and then it just started to snowball out of control for Victor, because I just don't think they had enough energy to be able to deal with how much he was able to do on their turns with all the energy they had. Yeah, they went down really low in the mid game. They went down to 2 runes on one turn. That's dicey. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go to game 3 with a 1-1 score. Alright, let's see what we got for this game. Yi is probably gonna keep the same kinds of sideboard cards. Unyielding Spirit, Spirit's Refuge maybe, against Victor's cards like Singularity and Falling Star. So, yeah, we'll see who gets this. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go with Obelisk this game. Victor lost the last game, so they get to go choose who goes first. They're probably going first with Obelisk. Play down a 2-drop, play down a token, and then take 2 points turn 2. Sounds like a good plan to me. Get super far ahead in the points lead pretty early. That's kind of nice. And we've got Dreaming Tree. So this is really good for Yi. Can Victor use this? I guess they could stupefy their own units. Sure, that works. 1 energy draw 2 is pretty good. Yep, they're gonna play a token and probably a 2-drop. Yeah, and then just pass. Next turn set up to get 2 points immediately, which is pretty quick. Play a Kiana and pass the turn. Okay. Somewhere where I could verify the actual rules. In the Discord, linked in the description, there are a bunch of rules and resources for playing the game. But yeah, it's kind of boring to just read through them, so the best way to play the game, best way to learn the game is always just to play with people and figure it out. It's the most fun way, at least, I think. Yeah, they're just gonna go ahead and go here, make a second token, play a Cull, get rid of the Kiana, slow down Yi by a lot. They've essentially just wasted their entire turn 1. Just having a unit and then having it die. Yeah, that is pretty good. Okay, they're gonna discipline a recruit to draw 2, I guess. And then do it again. Trying to draw into answers. This is really not looking good for you. This is an extremely slow start. Yeah, they have no board. Victor has 4 points, and they have a bunch of units. Yikes. That's not a good position to be in if you're Yi. And developing a Leona, okay. And another token, and yeah, this is a crazy board. Yi just has a Kiana. Victor's gonna go to 6 while Yi is at 0, and this game is probably already a wrap. Yeah, I mean, Victor just pushes a token to each and chills. That's really all they need to do. Develop units in base, and that's that. Make more tokens. Put more guys on the board. Attack for game next turn. Play a patron. Alright, well, sometimes it be like that. Victor is just an extremely consistent deck. You just don't brick. You just don't. It just never happens. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing they can do here, really. Victor has to be one of the more consistent decks. Yeah, it's the most consistent deck, I think. Which is a good thing to have. A very strong, very consistent deck in a long tournament. It's a very good advantage to have. And yeah, they're just going to develop. And I think they're just dead on board. I mean, they could have Primal Strength, but if Victor has any removal spell, that checks that option. In which case they'll need a Defy as well. And a Watcher. And ship everything. I don't even think Primal helps here. Yeah. This is at 5, 6, 7. -3 from Watcher. It's down to 4. Primal is potentially +7 to go to 11, but Victor has way more than 11 here. So there's just nothing they can have. Primal. Double on guard? Okay, well, I still don't think that's enough. This goes to what, 13? And then it still just dies? Yeah, GG. Well, this is a game? Yeah, that was a game. Cards were played, indeed. Something happened. Alright, well, that is a victory over to Victor. That's 3. That's 3 of these tournaments Victor's won. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and do the winner's interview now.
In case the worst happens, and I don't see anything. There was a world where I didn't have a unit turn 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright, hello again.
Yeah, thanks for game. Thank you. Hello.
Want to do interviews?
Yeah.
Alright. Go ahead and close TTS. You guys can screen share, you can send me the list, whatever you want to do.
Who first?
Either one.
Do you mind if I go first? I've got my dinner.
Sure,
I've been
yeah.
waiting for like 5 hours. I'll send you the list.
Alright.
It's actually a hilarious way to win. Get round 3 of the finals. I love it. I actually really wish I'd mulliganed my Kiana as well, and I just had to pass 2 turns.
And, did you mulligan 2 cards?
I did, yeah. I'm obviously hard looking for 2 drops, right? When you've given me 4
So I
mana.
guess you couldn't have increased the odds of.
No, yeah. I mean, the only thing I could have done instead of playing Kiana was play a Discipline on one of your guys, right, to draw a card.
Yeah, that's rough.
Which seems incredibly losing.
Yeah, I would have gambled too.
Yeah, like, but I was like, yeah, you definitely have something to kill this Kiana, and I was thinking about just conceding as soon as you played anything that killed Kiana. Honestly, but I thought that would make it seem like I was a bit salty about it.
Yeah, I mean, that game was just rough.
Yeah, I'm gonna, just for my own peace of mind, calculate the odds of not drawing anything other than Kiana.
Like
in
5%.
No, it can't be. It's less than 10% to not draw a 2-drop. To not draw like a 2-drop or a 3-drop. Sorry.
Yeah. Probably closer to like 2%.
Yeah.
12? You're on
reckon
12?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's a lot.
Not playable too. Like Zonya's ain't counting as a turn 1.
Oh,
I think
okay,
that's a
yeah.
fine turn 1. So, and then another 6 playable cards after that as well. How many is that? 18. I actually need to calculate it. And I didn't see one for another 2 draws afterwards. If I'm keeping you up, by the way, from doing your interview, just interrupt me. I'm just having fun.
Yeah, do you want to send me a list?
I did, didn't I? Or did I send it to a random person? Yeah, I sent it to you.
Did you?
It was Zach.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Sample size, so I had
Yeah, I got it.
8, 9. So 11 cards, samples in populations. 18. Do you want to know what the odds are? Oh my god.
Like 2%?
I guess I should say, no, it's like 0.02%.
I see.
To draw none, but I did draw 1, so it's 0.4%. See if it can happen. I actually had 4 games in a row during the tournament where I didn't play anything turn 1.
Really? Dang.
I don't think it's possible to increase the odds. It just happens.
Yeah. With 9 units, you've got a 91% chance of playing a unit turn 1, not even counting Zonya's, so...
Yeah, because Zonya's I would have been fine playing instead of Kiana. That's actually fine. It's probably preferable because against this Victor deck.
Yeah. Alright, go ahead and walk me through your list. I see some spicy tech in the sideboard.
Yeah. I think it's really standard, to be honest. The only spicy tech I'd say is the Stand United. The Blitz is for the Yi matchup. It's pretty good in the mirror.
I can see that.
Like Charm is like one of your best cards in the mirror, and Blitz is a 4th Charm, and you just play it as a 4th Charm that's like worse. Sometimes it's better, but I think people get into bad habits of like playing it over and over and over again. And I think actually that's winning for the opponent when you do that, because the way you actually win the mirror is to play your higher cost stuff, like your White Flames and your Snapbones. And if you just keep playing Blitzcrank, not only are you de-ramping yourself, but you're also
not developing,
not contributing to the board. Yeah, I think you just get absolutely blown out by someone playing a White Flame, a White Flame. The Stand United is garbage. Don't play that. It was really bad. I just don't have a 7th card I want in the like the 8th card. So yeah, the idea with Stand United is that you combine it with Spirit's Refuge for an extra point of buff in the deck. I did consider Arena Bar. Is it Arena Bar, the one that you tap as a gear to make the buff?
Yeah.
So I considered that, but it just seemed really slow. And also, like, Yi's play patterns tend to make Arena Bar a little bit awkward because you're actually just standing up, holding a lot of the time, right? So I do want a 7th card that I can sideboard into Kaiser, but I haven't figured it out yet. I don't think Sabotage is the one, but we were considering Dreadbloom, but White Flame is just better, does the same thing better, and it's already main deck. So that's the sideboard. You'd be surprised how often Spirit's Refuge and Unyielding Spirit are just good to sideboard in versus other matchups. Like
it
Jinx,
seems...
Annie, even this Victor, like, I was quite happy to sideboard it in.
Yeah, it seemed really good in that matchup. Stop their spells.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had several opponents this tournament go to literally 0 mana because of Spirit's Refuge. Like several times in the same game sometimes. So that's the sideboard. And then the main deck I think is just very standard.
Yeah, this is my exact list.
Yeah.
I think Jay plays the same list.
Yeah. So it actually is very funny because there was another tournament on Friday, and me and Jay made top 8 because I dropped. He was 9th and I was like 8th or something because it was so late. And he played 1 card different from my list. I'm playing his list now, and he played 1 card different. Mine was I had 2 Primal Strengths and 1 Sunlit Guardian just for, and maybe it was a mistake because you see what just happened, just for slightly better draw odds of playing a card turn 1. That was it. I don't know, maybe it might have got me out of that hole, but I mean, it would have been pretty good because I would have had 1 mana. Oh no, I didn't have any green. Never mind. But I saw his list and I was like talking to some other people about what I think is the best version of Yi for the mirror, because that tournament had loads of Yis do well. And I posted this list and I said I think this looks amazing in the mirror, because I think what wins the mirror is Primal Strength, Snapvine, and White Flame. I think the rest of the card and Charm. But I think the rest of the cards are largely irrelevant. And importantly, I think the mask gear is just not worth playing at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of people strongly disagree with that. But I've played Yi quite a lot now, and at no point have I ever really felt like there's any impact from playing that card, really. You lose a lot of tempo. I know that it's only 2 mana, but it's a 2 mana and a card. And in the early game, your cards and your tempo are really important. You can't just play a 2 mana gear that literally does nothing against spells and stuff. Because often your turn 1 is play a thing, and then your turn 2 is like develop 2 mana and hold open 2 or 3. And Mask just isn't impactful enough in those situations, and late game it just isn't impactful enough, period. So that's all I'd say, really. Zonya as a 3-of I think is much better.
With Kai'Sa, yeah. And against other matchups too.
Well, it just really wins games, especially and you combine the 3-of Zonya with the 3-of First Mate, because you do a lot of play patterns where you like suicide something in and then it comes back tapped and you play First Mate.
Yeah.
And you just effectively get double attacks. But yeah, I don't think there's much to say. It's quite I think the 6. I think the sideboard is pretty much correct as well. There's only 1 card that should change, and if anyone has any suggestions, feel free.
I do like
the Unyielding Spirit as a 3-of has to be, and Spirit's Refuge. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it's great.
Yeah, I do like.
I can't think of anything else.
Rune Prison. I think it does stop a lot. Theoretically, it stops like Primal and White Flame pushes against this deck. Against Kai'Sa, it stops Watcher and Darius, and Set, it stops Big Set, so maybe one of those is
I did
a good
try
inclusion.
That, but I don't think it just didn't feel good. If it only cost 2 mana and not a power, I'd be a lot more comfortable with it. But I think the situations in which it's useful are very extremely niche. And it's not about the card is good or bad. It's about what is that card better than that's already in your deck that you're playing in those matchups. And it just isn't. I'd rather play the 3rd White Flame than a stun card, and that would be like the 7th card I take out against like Kai'Sa, for instance. I think the most important match you'd want Rune Prism is against Annie when they do their Vi Ride the Wind trick.
Oh yeah.
It's good there because you basically just win the game on the spot if you do that. But I think you're pretty favored. I think the Spirit's Refuge does a lot into that matchup. So it is one of the thoughts I've had. And I don't think Windwall, I think that's a crucial part that I see a lot of Yis play. I don't think Windwall's worth playing at all. But I mean, maybe my loss now just proves that it might be, because I would have quite liked to have played a Windwall in quite a lot of those turns. but it's just it's expensive in both cost and power cost. And realistically, the only matchup that you'd ever really care to play it into is Victor, which in theory, I've been told with confidence, because that was my first Victor game I've played against Yi. In theory, Yi is favored, but it didn't feel very good.
Yeah.
The Leona changes a lot.
Yeah,
It's
Leona
just
seemed crazy.
He had a lot more removal than I anticipated, and I couldn't really interact with any of it.
Yeah, the spells are also really strong, but they can get screwed by the orange counter spell.
Yeah, but I don't, you know, like game one, I basically have no answer to those spells.
Yeah. Game 1 I expect to win because you don't have the orange counter spell. And then
Yeah.
it's difficult from there.
Yeah, but the orange counterspell gets infinitely better when you have Spirit's Refuge out.
Yeah.
When you have to like devote more to things than you normally would, and it gets counterspelled, it's really, really difficult for you. Which is why I think they combo so well. I think it's rare that you'd play Unyielding without Spirit's Refuge also in the deck. And I think there are sometimes you would play Spirit's Refuge and not Unyielding. So there's quite a few that I would do that.
Yeah. If there's nothing else you want to say, then just congrats. Yeah.
No, thank you for the event. It was really
Yeah,
good.
of course. Thanks for playing. It's fun to watch.
Thank you.
All right, so we want to go to the next list.
I'll tap out. See you later.
Yeah,
Congrats
have a
on the
good one.
I will send you, and I can also share screen.
Sure, if you want to.
I can show some things, but in case you want to see something, that's not on my screen, I guess. Yeah. So Victor has a problem, right, with being weak to conquering if the enemy is trying to hold. So that's kind of what I wanted to fix. That's why I have things like the combat and the singularity. And in general, like the token plan, like if you're winning a battle, when you send a lot of small guys in, the enemy is still getting a fine trade. Because you will be left with like one token, right? So I don't want to play the token plan. I'm instead just using tokens to be annoying, right? I get to send one guy out, take a point, at minimum risk, and that's what I'm using the legend power for instead, and for Cruel Patron. And my finisher instead of stratagem, which is not so reliable, and I have the watcher and the singularity. So this way it's a lot more reliable, a Victor plan than the usual.
Yeah, it seems like
It's like-
very solid list, very consistent as we saw.
So a problem with stratagem is like not only do you need to have units in base to use it, like you can't just use it from hand like a watcher, but also if you're using it defensively, the enemies can just send one unit in at a time and say, hey, do you want to use stratagem just to kill this one guy? And then if you use it, they don't do anything anymore, right? Unless you're threatening to win the game, but it's not that common. It's like then you're already winning. So yeah, I wanted to make the list more reliable, and it did quite well at that.
Yeah, lots of removal spells in this deck. Playing 3 Singularity, 3 Falling Comet. Extremely good game 1. How do they usually fare games 2 and 3 post side with cards like the orange counterspell?
Yeah, so they are there to fix the weakness that I'm better at conquering, right? Then I get to shoot and just walk in with a token. So yeah, against Yi, that's super good game 1 because it's doing exactly what I don't want to see holding. And then the orange counterspell, it kind of screws it. So I actually had a plan for the orange counterspell, which was I was gonna side in 2 Shins, 3 Leona, and that way I'm only playing 1 singularity. I'm siding out both the spells, and I would then only use the singularity if the enemy is completely tapped out. But I figured out that it was actually a mistake because it turned out these cards are so good that it's better to just gamble.
Oh, I see.
From my experience in the games. So I never ended up using the Shen in that matchup. I just sided into the Leona instead of the Sprite Mother, who doesn't get much use in this matchup. Don't remember. Maybe I did something else this matchup. Because I was also thinking about, in some cases, to side out a 2-drop if I know I'm going. If I know I'm going first, because whenever I'm going first, I always want a token instead of playing a card. Because I'm just sending it out to die anyways. So like either the scout or token. I would not play a 2-drop, so therefore, sometimes if I know I'm going first, I can side out a 2-drop. But in the game where I know I'm going first, I'm playing Obelisk, right? So then I want my 2-drops. But it was a special case here in the bracket because I knew I was going first in the games because I had the higher seed in the first game. So then I got opportunity to side out a 2-drop in my going first games. And I should remember to say shout out to Tog for the Leona idea. He played it in set to counter Master Yi, and I needed a way to counter Master Yi, so
yeah, it works. It's really good. What do you use the sprite call for usually?
So in aggro matchups like Jinx or whatever, they usually put out a 2 pretty early, and then you can kill the 2, and then it's hard for them to get over the 3. So it's a bit of a versatile card. Like it does that job. You also get a point for it, and then like if you just need 3 damage to clear something, like going back to the weakness of weak, so you're weak at conquering, it helps a bit that you have access to this 3 extra damage when you need it. And then another matchup where it's good is Aura matchup or Kaiser, something like that, where they're like the match is kind of on a clock, right? I need to end the game before they are completely dominating the match. So I'm using it as a guarantee to take like 2 turns. On the first turn I can put something out, or like if ever they manage to clear my whole base, then I still get that. It was quite good against the Misfortune from Prismaticism earlier.
Yeah. How did the retreats do into Kaisa and stuff?
So retreat is probably the worst card in the deck. The reason I have retreat is there was nothing else I wanted in the deck.
I see.
So, so it's like for 1 mana I get to draw 1 and ramp 1, right? Because like I'm using it on a card that's dying anyways, so it's kind of like drawing that card. It's not quite as good because I'm kind of drawing a bad card because it's a unit. I don't really want unit in the later stages of the game, but yeah. So I'm not completely sure about the retreat, but there's nothing I wanted to play more than it. There was one game was quite good. I was playing against Master Yi and I had a Leona, and so the Leona was completely dominating the game, right? But my opponent had an opportunity to charm my Leona out to give me a point and then trade into me, and so I was ready to retreat if he did that, so that I would still have my Leona, which is very important for the matchup.
Yeah. Any changes you'd make to the list? Probably Shen, you said.
Yeah, so the most important thing I realized when playing against Darius, I need Salvage. So, Salvage instead of the Shen, I would change.
Yeah. Yeah. Hook can get out of hand sometimes.
Yep. And I'm open to changing the retreat. Right? If Master Yi is very popular, it could be Leona main deck.
Yeah, it seems
Other
very
than that, I'm
solid.
very happy with the rest of the cards. Sprite could also change. It's not that important, the cards. Not super happy about the Arena's Greatest, but I couldn't find a better battlefield. I'm very
Yeah.
happy about the other two. Yeah,
Sometimes I see
Obelisk.
Reavers just to like
yeah,
keep
yeah,
your
that
units
is the one
alive.
I have been considering. I didn't like that when I'm screwing Master Yi over with Leona, like sometimes they don't even
yeah,
lose
yeah.
it. Because it means I also get to move Leona back myself. The game gets a bit complicated. Yeah, it is possible that Reavers is better. But my guess is that Arena's Greatest is better. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, anything else you want to say? Closing thoughts?
I think there's not much more to say. Thank you for organizing the tournament.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for playing and congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I'm gonna head out. So have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
All right. That is the end of the tournament. All the deck lists will be posted in the Discord, and I'll have my video out tomorrow going over all the stuff, looking at Top Cut and everything people were playing. And yeah. Yeah, congrats to Freaks for winning. Victor's third win. That's 3 Victor wins. That's crazy. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna close it down for today. Yeah, thank you to everybody for playing. I will see you guys tomorrow, I guess, with the video. So, have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.